Hello vinyl community, this is Randy. Today I'm going to do a video response, a contest response for Rob Walker, who has reached 100 subscriptions. So congratulations, Rob, on reaching 100 subscriptions. I think I understand the contest. I believe it's to show 5 records. It's give me 5 records that you wouldn't otherwise be showing, I think, is the contest thread here. So give me 5 albums that you wouldn't otherwise be showing. So I figured I would show some records that Rob would probably be interested in. So I was thinking about what those would be, and I've watched quite a few of his videos. So I think I have a sort of a grip on what his musical tastes are. So the first one I decided to show is Paul Weller, Sonic Kicks. This is his album from, when did this come out? 2012. Wow, actually longer ago than I thought it was. This is the most recent Paul Weller album that I have. I'm showing this one mostly just because I think that Rob has some concern that those of us here in Nashville maybe didn't have access to Paul Weller, or not enough access to Paul Weller, but we did. We were able to see Paul Weller. Just to set Rob's mind at ease just a little bit more, I will tell him that I also have this compilation, it's a 4 CD of Paul Weller's career, really. So it's really the jam style accounts, and then his solo work. But these are actually not the 5 that I'm going to show. I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to show 5 Grateful Dead records, because I like the Grateful Dead a lot, and I can't really imagine I'm going to be showing a whole lot of these because they're not going to be new finds. I've had them. So I'm going to show 5 Grateful Dead records. When I first started collecting Grateful Dead tapes back in 1993 or so, there were like, I seem to remember there were like 4 shows that were very popular among the taping community, and ones that everybody wanted to try and get the best possible copy of it. So those 4 shows were the first one was 21370, which has been released as Dick's Picks Volume 4, I think it was, which I have on CD, but I didn't get that when it came out on vinyl. But another one that was very popular was 5270, Harper College. So this was a Dick's Pick. It was on CD, but then Brookville released this on vinyl just a couple of years ago, I think. So LE was listening to this last Friday, I think. Talked about on Dead Wax 66 live stream. Been listening to this earlier in the day, so I thought I would show this one. It comes with this booklet inside. There's actually 5 records inside this box, so this just shows the guy with the actual real tapes from 5270, and then this just shows really what those tapes actually look like, and you can see how they documented what they were taping. So it's all good. It's just got some more pages like that. Shows a picture of the band from that night. They did an acoustic set and then 2 electric sets, I believe. And then on the back of this, it's got the Steal Your Face. So that was one of the ones that the tapers all suggested back then. Another one that they suggested a lot back then was Barton Hall, 5877, Cornell. This is probably one of the best known Grateful Dead shows. So this one came out on Record Store Day, I think. I think it was a Record Store Day release. So I'm not sure about that though. This one. Also, it's this big. There's like 4 or 5 records in here too. This came with this cool booklet which tells about the show. much more detail. This Cornell show really wasn't a very well-known show. The Grateful Dead community waited a while for this one to finally be released. So there's more information there. And then the fourth show that was always recommended a lot, and those last two that I showed you, those are not the 5 that I'm going to show because those are like box sets, and those aren't really. But this one is not a box set. It's also 4 records, I think. But this is 8/27/72. This is a fantastic show. This was released on DVD. DVD called Sunshine Daydream. This is when they played a show in Oregon, an outdoor show on August 27th of 1972. It was a benefit for King Kesey's Creamery. So the video is awesome. I highly recommend it to you if you have any interest in the Grateful Dead at all, because to me this really seems to capture the Grateful Dead vibe from the early 70s more than any other. But this is a fantastic record. Yes, really just the artwork on it is beautiful, and I like the way that it opens up. This artwork on the inside. I hope you can see that through the glare. And then it turns another page. More fantastic artwork there. And then it turns one more time. So this is really just one of the most beautiful albums that I have. So yeah, Grateful Dead, 8/27/72. So these are just going to be more of their live albums that have been released since the since Jerry Garcia's death in 1995. So these are not records that were on Warner Brothers, or these are basically released through the Grateful Dead website, I believe, and some of them are like Record Store Day releases. So 8/27/72 was the first one I'm showing. Here's the second one. I love this album cover. This the date on this one is what is the actual date? It's Hampton Coliseum in 1979. Yeah, it's May 4th, 1979. So I really like that artwork. It's the whole thing right there. I'm not really going to tell you anything about these records. They're all live albums. They're all Grateful Dead live albums. So it's kind of like a whole world into itself, and I could go on about any of these concerts for quite a bit of time, but obviously they were all good enough to be released. The Grateful Dead archivist, I guess, had a hand in choosing these. So they're all going to have like custom labels. I don't know if you can take it out of here. There's what the label looks like on that one. So yeah, this would have been I believe this would have been one of Donna Jean's last show. I believe this is when the Godshaws were still with the band. Actually, Brent Midland had joined by this time. So the Godshaws were gone by this time, and it's Brent Midland as the keyboard player. So, yeah. So that was May 4, 1979. Another one that was released. This was actually just released on Black Friday, Record Store Day, just 6 months ago. This is Playing in the Band. This is actually just one long song. It's about a 40-minute long song, Playing in the Band. One of the Grateful Dead's jam vehicles. So this was recorded May 21st, 1974 in Seattle, Washington. They released a box set last year, which they featured some concerts from that 73 and 74. And this whole concert was released on CD. They just released this one song in this album. Instead of having the 6 record sets that I showed you down there, there's this one. So, yeah, this is good. This gives you a good picture of their whole jamming capabilities. They go through a lot of different jams on that one. So, once again, the label is a custom label. Yeah, so Record Store Day. Right, so I was glad to get that one. Here is one from very early in their history. This is when they played at the Family Dog, April 18th of 1970. So in San Francisco, Family Dog was a group of people that promoted shows there. Chet, gosh, what was his last name? Was the I guess the head of Family Dog, and they promoted these shows. So here's some pictures of the band. There's Pigpen there, Phil Lesh down there, Mickey Hart, the drummer. Here's a poster for the show, and then information about it. The interesting thing about this show, it's live acoustic. So actually, this was not billed as a Grateful Dead show. This was Mickey Hart and his Heartbeats, the drummer, and then Bobby Ace and his Cards. Yeah, his Cards from the Bottom of the Deck. So that's Bob Ware. So I'm not exactly sure how they promoted that. I mean, I think it really was just the Grateful Dead playing, but instead of promoting it as the Grateful Dead, they promoted it as Mickey Hart and then Bobby Ace. This is a really casual show. They do some unusual songs on here. Obviously, part of it's acoustic. But this one is not like their later shows. Just some oddball songs on here, like, well, Roberta, Bring Me My Shotgun, The Mighty Flood, Black Snake. I mean, these are songs that are really, were just almost never done by the Dead. So that was a cool one to have. And the last one I'm going to show you today is really going to be 2 records. These records are kind of unusual. These are 2 records that were released, I believe, in the early 1970s. They are companion records. They were both recorded at a show, and let's see if I can get the actual date here. I believe it was recorded in, well, 1966. They don't necessarily really give the actual date here. This is a cool cover. See the birds there. Here's the band on the back of it. So this is very early Primal Dead. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how this got recorded, but somehow this was released on Sunflower Records. So I bought these used. This record belonged to someone else, but Sunflower Records, which I think was an MGM. You can see the MGM logo there on the side. So a subsidiary, I guess, of MGM. And I don't really know how the contractual thing came up that they ended up releasing songs on MGM, but there's just these 2 albums from 1966. So here's the other one. So this one is called Historic Dead, and then this one is called Vintage Dead. This is a really cool cover. Has the Grateful Dead poster there, bottle of Ripple here. Yeah. Unfortunately, she put a sticker up here, but yeah, that's okay. There's the back of it showing the band. Back then, this is when there was just one drummer before Mickey Hart came along, so Bill Kreutzmann, the only drummer. So that's it. There's 5 records that I think I would not be showing to the vinyl community otherwise. Thanks for having the contest, Rob. It's a great idea for a contest, and congratulations on 100 subscribers. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments about any of these, let me know. I'm always interested to know people's thoughts on Grateful Dead in particular. They're sort of a band that, some people have some strong opinions about them, I guess. So, anyway, hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.